Captain Ron.
Well, it's hard to be serious, with Ron.
I love Ron. You'll see. He's great. You haven't met him yet?
I met him a little bit.
Oh, did you? Okay. He's not going to love this.
Well, I came to know Ron in the mid-70s. I was working for a company called Roundhorst, now called Opus.
Ron and I have known each other for almost 40 years. I was a baby banker, and he was a borrower on a project called Wood Creek. And it was at that time he made a really fabulous impression.
I ran into some ex-University of Wisconsin football players, all of whom knew Ron very well. And this was a pretty raucous group. So they knew we had done some business with Hawthorne Realty, and they suggested when I go down to Hawthorne Realty, I'd look Ron up.
Ron actually gave me my first job. I started my career at Frayne Cameras and Swartchild and literally had my workstation outside of Ron's office.
I first met Ron shortly after my father died pretty suddenly, and I was looking to get a job and join the workforce. Ron returned my call within an hour and met me for lunch the next day.
The person he is, gentle, humble, really smart.
I was expecting somebody who was big, husky, raucous sort of fellow. And here was this fellow who was kind of quiet, kind, and very easy to talk to. Much different than his friends up in Milwaukee.
At that time, Ron was already a legend in the industry who had such available time for a young person with really nothing to gain, just that he wanted to take me under his wing and sort of look out for me.
Without Ron, I'd probably still be unemployed today.
It was always fascinating to me to watch these people grow and develop into superstars. What I don't like is the fact that now some of these people, their kids have kids, so that makes me feel old, and I don't like that.
Ron started here, and it took him a day to become the most popular person at Sterling Bay.
And you always felt comfortable around Ron, and I think everybody did. Young people learned from him, guys like me who are contemporaries of Ron's. I think we found it to be very comforting to be with Ron because he was one of us, and he was one of the good guys.
He's all about high integrity and doing the right thing.
When my daughter was born, one of the first texts I had was Ron asking me what we needed. What can he buy for us? I said, Ron, you don't need to do anything. You had done so much for me. We go home and there's our first double stroller waiting at our house for us, and that's just Ron, and he does that for everybody.
He he was here for 2 days. Everyone's like, "Hey, Ron, what's going on, Ron?" So I think it speaks to who Ron is, and he's a joy to have around, and everyone will say that.
I love what I do. I love the people. I really love this. I love the industrial business. It happens to be a very hot product in the marketplace right now, and so I'm going to ride it as long as I can. I mean, I don't think I'll ever retire, frankly. One of the things that I have to tell a lot of people is the most important thing that I learned is to listen. You know, a lot of people don't listen. They're thinking about what they're going to say, and they don't listen. You can learn so much by listening to a person talk and what their needs are, whether it's listening to someone describe buildings and say, okay, I understand now, okay?
Well, I think, the thing that I picked up from Ron was probably a lot to do with his leadership. He was soft-spoken, he was knowledgeable, and he cared about people.
I would say having people like Ron in my life is a great reminder of doing the right thing, of acting with integrity, of being candid, even when it feels radical to do so.
Ron treated me as well as anyone when I was, one day in the job to if you've been there for 30 years. So I've never met anyone who doesn't like Ron, and he always does the right thing, always tells the truth in a business where sometimes that's a little harder to find.
I look back at Ron and I see a person who's really built his career primarily on just treating people well and being kind to people. And the number one lesson that he always told me was it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I'm not the kind of person who's overly talkative. I kind of listen to people and get their feelings, and you have to be, you have to show empathy too. A lot of people in business they're not really empathetic, and it's important if you want to be a leader.
I'd like to congratulate Ron for this achievement. There's nobody more deserving than Ron for this award. He's the best in the business. I love him to death, and I'm so happy for him.
Congratulations, Ron. There's nobody that deserves this more than you. Thank you for being who you are and for all you do for the real estate community and in Chicago.
Ron, congratulations. You earned every bit of this. I'm really proud to call you a friend and to see you win this award from NAIOP. You are most deserving.
Ron, here's to 40 years of doing everything the right way. Everyone here at Sterling Bay, and I'm sure everyone in the room tonight is really proud of you. Congratulations.
The one person I need to thank is my wife, by the way. She's had to share my love for the business, and she's been marvelous and supported me for 52 years. And I think she's going to be at the award ceremony, so a big thank you to her.